Well, hey there, folks. I'm Fox 2 News meteorologist Matt Barrentine, getting things set up in the News Now Center, trying to get everything where I need it to be at, and we'll be getting on this. Let me get on over. Hey, folks, meteorologist Matt Barrentine. Once again, of course, obviously we are tracking Hurricane Ida. Interesting thing here to note here in just the last couple of hours. It's got an eye that's beginning to form, so it's just showing it's getting itself better organized. It's got that central eye, and you can see it's getting that classic shape of a hurricane, and eventually this is going to get that classic circular saw look, that scary look that the big and powerful hurricanes get. It's eventually going to look like that because this one is going to continue to grow and become quite the storm here in the next couple of days. Here are the current watches and warnings. Most of Louisiana, the eastern half of Louisiana here under a hurricane warning in red. Most of coastal Mississippi in tropical storm warning. Actually, we've just been moved. We were in a tropical storm watch, so and moved us into a tropical storm warning. Not surprising. We do anticipate a number of hours of tropical storm conditions here across our area. So tropical storm warnings here for our local area. All right, so here are the latest numbers. These came down at the top of the hour, 10 a.m. Ida, 85 mile per hour winds. It got up to 85 at the 7 o'clock update, so that hasn't changed. So you say, well, it's not growing, it's not strengthening right now. At the moment, no, it's getting itself better organized to strengthen. It started to form that eye that I was talking about, and that's going to allow it to strengthen more as it goes through the day to day. So it's going to be a very big, powerful storm. The movement is off to the northwest at 16. Important, it's not moving due north. See, it's right here. If it were to move due north from where it was at right now, it'd head towards Destin. But we don't see that. It's headed to the north and west, and I'll explain more in a second. So here's the latest track as well, showing a very powerful Category 4 storm headed for a landfall in southeast Louisiana. And there is a cone, so keep that in mind. You know, it can shift around some. It could see it shift more to the east side or more to the west side of this cone. But regardless, it's going to stay pretty far to the west of us. But keep in mind, that's the center of the circulation. This is going to be a huge storm. It's going to be a Katrina-esque size storm. So there'll be a huge area that gets impacted from this storm, including our area. So we will get impacts, significant ones, and especially too, because look at how it's going to curve. See how it curves? That keeps us on the right-hand side of the storm all the way through, the stormy side of the system all the way through. So even after it makes landfall, it actually gets closer to us and then continues to pour on us. And you'll see that here in some of the modeling I'll show in just a second. First off, here's kind of the spaghetti plot with the models, and you know, there's just no wiggles in there. I know a lot of folks are, well, how do y'all know? How do you know? Well, there's a lot of confidence here, and the main reason is because the steering pattern is very set. There's a huge ridge of high pressure across the southeast. Think of this right here like a mountain. This can't climb over the mountain. It's going to go around. It's going to get pushed around the mountain. So you can see the flow like this in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that's why it's going to continue to get pushed off to the northwest. Now remember, it's going to curve around, and you can see why, because this ridge is like this, so it's going to curve around that ridge. It can't go over it, it's going to go around it. That's why we're pretty confident. Now it doesn't mean we can't have some little shifts here and there, but we wouldn't anticipate a major shift like the one that would bring it directly over to us, something like that. That's not in the cards. It's just too much, that pressure ridge is just too strong. So we have some pretty good confidence in where it's going. And unfortunately, where it's going to go over some extremely warm waters. This is rocket fuel for this system. That's why we anticipate this rapid strengthening of this storm. So it's going to go from a minimal hurricane, and it's going to ramp up into a major hurricane, likely even a Category 4 hurricane before it makes landfall. And the other thing about this, see how warm the water is right before it makes landfall. It will be getting stronger and stronger right up until the moment it hits land, right up to that moment. The only limiting factor for this is, how long it is over the water. That's the only thing I really can weaken it. There's not much in the way of shear. You know, there's some good wind shear over the Florida Peninsula, but it's going to skip by that, not really get into that shear. So, you know, it's got great conditions for a tropical system all the way through, unfortunately. The only thing, like I said, that will limit it is just how fast it's moving and how long it actually spins over the water. So here it is. You can see some of the first outer rain bands showing up on our radars here. We have some rain around too, not directly from Ida. It's just sort of part of the overall broad circulation here around the system, but not directly the rain bands of Ida. Those won't come in until tomorrow or tomorrow morning. You'll see that here on some of the modeling. All right, so this is our high resolution model, and you can see how it kind of cuts off here. It doesn't cover all the way much farther south, so you have to wait until these storms get pretty far in before we can start using that high resolution modeling. So here we are, 5 o'clock today. We'll have some showers and storms around our local area, but we'll be watching this, obviously. Continue to track to the north and west. That's midnight tonight. Let's head to the morning hours tomorrow. You're waking up. We'll start seeing our first big rain bands starting to flow on in on the right-hand side of this. And then this thing is getting closer and closer to landfall as we head into around the lunchtime hour. So the big difference between the different models is the timing. Some bring it in not much later than lunchtime. Some bring it in mid-afternoon. Some bring it in towards closer to the evening hours. That's really the only difference. They all have it landing somewhere between the Mississippi River and Vermilion Bay, which is this little notch right here. All the models have it landing in here, but they have it at different times. Look at this, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Look at these big rain bands. So yeah, center coming in well to the west of us, but we're getting real heavy rain and gusty winds. I mean, keep in mind that by this time we're in tropical storm force wind gusts, and we'll stay there for a long time getting those gusty winds. This will continue to work its way on in. That's 10 o'clock in the evening, and look at that rain band rolling right through our area. And then this high resolution model doesn't go any farther than that, but I'll show you some more in a second with another model. And this is the rain from that same model I just showed you. So it only goes through 10 o'clock tomorrow, but you can see the numbers. Mobile 5 inches, New Orleans 5 inches, Dauphin Island 3.5, Gulf Shores about 4.5 inches. That's just through Sunday. Of course, there's a Monday to come as well, and I'll show you that here with the American model because this one goes out a little bit farther. And this one has it making landfall around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So a couple hours later, like I said, that's the main difference. But look, the same exact location essentially for landfall. And look at the big rain bands coming on in, that deep flow here off the Gulf into our area. And then here we are midnight on Monday, heavy rain bands. And then Monday morning we wake up and go into lunchtime and look at the big rain bands. So the system is over here. It's on the Mississippi River essentially, going up towards Jackson. And the heavy rain bands just keep getting caught up and wrapped in this flow, and we continue to get torrential downpours. So we're going to be caught in that, and because of the way it's moving, kind of going around like that, we'll be in that for a while. And also the winds could be gusting tropical storm force strength all the way through Monday as well. So a long time of high winds. So even though the winds say, well, it's just tropical storm force winds, yeah, but if you have them for 36 hours, that's a long time to have tropical storm force winds. So you need to secure things, make sure you don't have anything outside your house that could fly around, your chairs, umbrellas, kid toys, all that stuff. You need to get out there and secure it today. Here's the rain off that model I just showed. And you see, 6.5. So this one goes out a little farther. This goes through Tuesday morning. And it's about 6.5 inches of rain. And that's kind of widespread what we're thinking, 5 to 6 inches of rain. But there will be localized spots that will get more than that. Could get as high as 10 inches. So that obviously make the number one impact is flooding. You see the red bar down there, flooding from all that heavy rain. Other impacts, tornadoes. It's a lower risk, but we're going to be in those rain bands on the right-hand side. There's always a possibility of those quick spin-up tornadoes. You do not get a lot of lead time with those. They can happen very, very quickly. And then we got surge. We talked about Dauphin Island, Fort Morgan Peninsula. 3 to 5 feet of surge is a real possibility. So that will certainly cause some issues on the west end of Dauphin Island and some other areas, the causeways. So we'll be looking at surge issues. And then we have the wind. Like I said, don't sleep on the wind. It's just tropical storm force for us, but for hour upon hour upon hour upon hour. So if you got a tree or some limbs that are a little weak, they might stand up to tropical storm force winds for a couple of hours, but then give way. So that's something to keep in mind. Of course, you get little tornadoes spinning up in some of those tropical storm force winds and spinning it up real quick. You can knock over trees that way as well. So we got a lot to look out for. I want to go and give you a quick look at the current radar because we do have some rain, like I said, working its way on in. So there are some showers, a few rumbles of thunder as well over here in Gulf Shores. It's weakening as it comes in, so that's the good news, but there is some rain spreading north, so you could run into some of that here as we go through the morning. So we'll have some scattered showers around here this morning and midday. It looks like the afternoon could be fairly quiet, so that'll give you a good chance to get out there and get some things done if you need to. All right, so you can see the planner. We'll have some rain the next few hours, and it kind of tapers off as we head into the afternoon. I just wanted to go and give you a quick 7-day because, hey, you're here, why not? So obviously tomorrow, Monday, even on a Tuesday, I'll probably still have some remnant rain still working its way on through. So a lot happening here. Once again, if you're just joining, the track has not changed. The winds right now are 85 miles per hour. It is forming an eye. It will be gaining in strength here as we go through the day today. It's still the movement. It's still northwest at 16, so it is not moving due north. It's not headed towards us directly, but this is going to be such a large storm that we will be getting multiple impacts like I just showed off of this system. It is likely to make landfall as a Category 4 hurricane, so a major hurricane. New Orleans, you know, a lot of folks are going to be staying behind New Orleans because the evacuation just wasn't called in time. So they're going to be seeing some major issues there. They're obviously going to get heavy rain and very windy conditions. It looks like the center of it will pass basically over Baton Rouge, so they're anticipating a lot of problems as well. And then you got the Mississippi Gulf Coast that will certainly see some problems because they'll likely see a storm surge of anywhere between 6 to 10 feet in spots. So high storm surge values all through here. For us, about 3 to 5 feet, which is enough to cause some issues as well. And you can see how, once again, how it curves around after it makes that landfall. That's the problematic part for us because it keeps us on the right-hand side with the rain bands. I mean, if you thought about it, if it kept going straight northwest, we'd get those outer rain bands and then we'd move on. But since it's going like this, those outer rain bands keep feeding up into that system as it moves inland. That's why we're going to have torrential downpours not only Sunday, but Monday as well, possibly even into the first bit of Tuesday. So a lot of rain to come off of this system. That will be our biggest impact. It'll also be very windy throughout the day. We'll have to watch out for isolated tornadoes. And of course, hope that people would stay out of the water. But we have obviously high rip current risk here the next couple of days. So for everyone that joined, do appreciate it. We're going to be doing a lot of updates here throughout the day at Fox 10. We've got a football game on today. We'll have an update at halftime with the latest numbers there. And of course, tonight we'll have more updates here throughout the night as well. Basically, at the top of the hours this afternoon and this evening, we're going to have some updates for you. So when we get the latest information in, we'll let you know. The next big one. So this was the 10 o'clock update. There's an intermediate advisory at 1 o'clock. I'll have that for you during halftime of the football game. But 4 o'clock is the next big one. 4 o'clock is when you want to tune in for here at Fox 10 News. That's the one that'll have the next track update. That'll really, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. And once again, I expect at the 1 o'clock update, at the 4 o'clock update, you're going to see stronger and stronger winds with each of these updates as this thing gets itself organized and goes over that rocket fuel warm water. So keep that in mind. This will be a bigger and larger storm and have a stronger storm later today and going into tomorrow. So we'll have all that for you here at Fox 10. Y'all stay safe, get your house ready, and get ready to spend a couple of days inside watching it rain. Bye now.